man? What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT. Get right to it. Hopefully, y'all can hear all right. Hear me all right. Um, but man, you got to focus on the now. You got to focus on the present time. And I want to apologize to all my subs. I kind of messed up the title in the beginning um, when I typed it in or whatever. But it's focus. Focus on the now. Don't focus on the past. You need to be focused on everything that you're doing now, and also, plan for the future. Let's just let's just talk about the now. If you continue to live in the past, man, you're never gonna move forward. Man. There's a lot of people that live in the past. I mean, even when you live, it's good to look at your past success, your past accomplishment, uh, your past overcoming. But if you're looking at your past shortcomings, if you're looking at your past transgressions, your trials, tribulations that you went through, and everything, the only thing that you're really supposed to do at it is just really laugh and just keep on moving forward and whatnot. Because if you keep on reminiscing about the negative, you know, because you can reminisce about negative things, you're not going to move forward. It's not going to it's not going to take you anywhere. It's not going to take you to the higher level that you need to be. And then also you need to think about getting better. Don't like me. I don't never rest in my success. I don't care what it is. And a lot of people, they tend to rest in their success. They kick their feet up when they are at the top of the mountain, and you're not supposed to do that. If you're hungry, if you were once hungry and you got a full belly, you need to be even more greedy. I'm not talking about greedy in the sense of being selfish, or that type of mentality. I'm talking about greedy as far as hungering for more and wanting to strive for more and wanting to get better and even wanting to evolve. Like look at Jeff Bezos. Okay, Jeff Bezos, you think he would stop, just because he had stepped down, from Amazon, even though he still, has, the company and everything like that. But he evolved into doing other things, and now he's putting himself into position to do other things as well. He had to stop, and he's still hitting the ground running, and that's what you have to do, man. Like when you're not achieving anything at the present time, if you're not successful in something at the present time, you have to look at where you're at right there at that present moment. And you have to say to yourself, okay, look, man, I don't I don't have very much to lose at this point in time right now. You know, I don't have a lot of a lot of a lot of material things at this present time right now. I don't have a lot of accolades at this present time right now. And then what you need to do is you need to strive for it. Listen, don't look for no handouts. Don't look for anybody to hold your hand. Don't look for anybody to pat you on the back. Don't look for anybody to rub you on your back. Don't look for anybody to give you that great criticism because it it's it's not gonna come on your bearing. Yeah, listen, it's not gonna come when you want it to come. You know what I'm saying? It's just naturally gonna come. When the universe feels like feels like it's time to. And you also have to look at the stuff that you're doing and the things that you're putting into the universe. Like I said, I always talk about the universe. I always talk about the most high. Look, if you're not if you're not putting that great stuff, into your time, into your craft, you're not putting that great effort into your craft. not putting dedicated work into your craft or whatever that you're trying to build or whatever that you're trying to make or whatever goal that you're trying to reach, it's not going to come. It's not going to come to you. And the thing about it is that you living in the past, you being stuck in in, in a tumultuous time, it's not going to make you move forward. I mean, it could have been a time when a relationship that went bad, and you could never ever get past it. You couldn't fathom why that person did this to you, or even why you did that to the other person, and you're never ever able to move forward from that. And that's guess what? That kills you mentally. It makes you mentally shocked. What you have to do, man, is you have to block all that stuff out. You have to block all that stuff out. You know, even if you gotta get away from certain things like, the phone or social media or any of that stuff, because really a lot of people don't understand that social media it triggers a lot of things. And one of the things that social media and I'm talking about all platforms, all social media sites, whether it's like Facebook, Twitter, uh, anything, man, anything. It, you could look at something and it could be a trigger, and you could think about the past. And guess what? You go back to it and you start living in that time, good or bad. You know what I'm saying? You start living in that time. It's like, man, you'll never move forward, and then you tend to think about it for about a month, and then like the reason why I said don't think about something, that great that you did in the past. Yeah, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Reminisce about it for a minute, and then just go ahead and move forward. But if you stuck in that time and thinking that, okay, well, I could go back to that time when I was weighed this many pounds, or I could jump this high, or I could look this younger, or anything like that, and you trying to do it, people are already going to recognize what you're trying to do. So what you have to do is just you have to stay in the now and stay in the present. Look, I'm all for being the best version of yourself. That's what you're supposed to. That's what everybody's supposed to do. But you being stuck in the past, like a Jerome, like you in a time, like yeah, like you never you've always been stuck in that time. That's how you're gonna be. You don't want to be a Jerome. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all that don't know who Jerome is, he's a character from Martin. He was an old pimp, and he always used to be everywhere with Martin is. And Martin played the character, but pretty much what Jerome was doing is he was stuck in the time. He was stuck in the time where it was the 70s or whatnot. But really, he needed to get up to par, and at that time it was the 90s and everything. So you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be, one of the guys just stuck in the past and trying to play catch up. If that makes any sense. Me myself personally, I don't I don't dwell on anything. Like I used to dwell on a lot of shit. I used to dwell on different stuff that I never could go back and erase or change or anything like that. But I don't do it anymore because what that does is stopping me, and really it messes with you physically too, because people can tell if you're dealing with something. People can tell. People can feel your energy if and your vibe if you're not if you're not feeling well, or if you're stuck in the past, or you keep constantly thinking about something negative that may have held you back or something like that. You can't focus on any of that. You're not going to change it. The only way that you can change it is by not thinking about it and moving forward and planning for the future and saying, okay, hey, look, I've learned from that situation, I've overcame from that situation, and I've moved on from that situation. Now, at this present time, I'm moving forward. Don't say I'm gonna move forward. Say I am moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Say I am moving forward because that's what you're doing. You have to speak all of that stuff into existence. If you're not speaking it into existence, then it's not gonna come. A lot of a lot of people get held back by being stuck in the past. It has nothing to do with their talent. It has nothing to do with their know-how. It has nothing to do with how great or how very little they could do something. It has to do with the mental capacity. A lot of people get shot mentally, by the past. It's just like, I'm thinking about the whole, LeBron being upset about him not being chosen by the executives and everything like that. You can't dwell on that. You can't dwell on that, and you can't think about how you were 10, 15 years ago. Those times are gone. There's nothing that you can do to go back to that time. Yes, what you've done for the league, that's great. Yes, have you brought championship to a different organization? Yes. Have you been successful? Yes. But really, you can't say anything. Really, what you should do is pipe down and get in the lab. Don't say anything to anybody, and then come back with whatever um, new plan that you plan to do. You don't need to tell people, okay, well, that gassed me up or anything like that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Different situations are going to come up, unfortunately, in terms of what happened in the past. Somebody might bring it up. Somebody might bring it up to you when you go somewhere and you haven't seen somebody in a long time. And let's say you used to be on drugs or you used to be on alcohol or you used to have a certain addiction, right? But that person that you used to deal with, you no longer talk to anymore, but you saw them in passing, and they're like, "Oh, well, hey man, you remember when we used to drink and smoke and go out all the time and stuff like that, and you might be in a different place." Well, what that person did was just brought you back in a time that you choose not to reminisce on. And how you deal with that situation is all you need to do is just be like, yeah, I did that back in the day, but I'm better than that now, you know. But a lot of people, they dwell on that and they mentally become shot because they used to be addicted to drugs, they used to be addicted to alcohol, they used to be addicted to sex, whatever addiction that there is that they were addicted to that held them back. And what you have to do is you have to get beyond that past, and then you also have to think about the future. A lot of people, they just get stuck in the now. Now, this is another thing too. Don't just get stuck in the now. Don't just get stuck in the now. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just get stuck in the present. What you need to be doing is to be thinking, chess master moves in terms of your year. You need to be thinking like 10, 15 steps ahead. Really, you need to be planning for that, especially if you have a family, because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. And if you leave this earth, what are you going to leave your family? I'm talking to, my men and my women. out there, that and my brothers and my sisters that have families and got responsibilities and obligations and all of that stuff. You have to think about stuff like that. We're living in a tumultuous time right now. Not to change the subject, I'm gonna stay with this briefly and get back to what I was talking about. But for instance, man, right now it's a lot of uncertainty. We we don't know what what lies next in terms of the state of society right now. So what do you need to do when you're uncertain about something? You need to prepare regardless. When you're uncertain about something, you need to prepare regardless. Don't even it's better to it's better to be ready so you don't have to sit there and have to get ready. Because if you do that, it's gonna be too late. And I know that people are gonna be like, well, that's common sense. But some people don't exercise it. Some people don't exercise common sense. Some people don't exercise wisdom. You don't have to be old. You don't have to be old in order to be wise. You know what I'm saying? Don't call it wise beyond your years. Just call it wisdom. Just call it wisdom. And you need to exercise it. You can say all this stuff, wishing upon a star, just doing all this talking. But if you don't exercise it and you don't execute it, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. And listen, if just be yourself in the way that you work. If you're a workaholic and you can do 50 things at once, hey, that's great. More power to you. But if you work at a steady, slow pace, that's fine too. Because nobody has put pressure on you unless it's like, your parents or where you grew up or you're product of your own environment. Nobody has put pressure on you to to say, okay, hey, you need to work this fast, or you need to do this, the correct way, or you need to do this that way, or anything like that. Nobody's done that for you. You make your own. You make your own damn decisions. You make your own decisions. Nobody has control over what you're doing, unless of course you're a part of some sort of like group, or if you're part of the military, or you're part of the police, and or you work for the government or something like that. Some sort of some sort of control over some of the things that you're doing. But besides all that, if you have your own business and you run things for yourself, you work on your own and all of that, man, nobody can tell you anything what to do. But hey, what I'm gonna tell you is, a lot of people aren't gonna tell you it, but I'm telling you not to live in the past. Don't don't reminisce about the past. That's what's gonna hurt. That's what's gonna hurt you. That's what's gonna hurt you. That's why a lot of people, their success probably is maybe just a short little window, and then after that they end up falling off. You know why? Because they start thinking about the past, and they start thinking about, oh man, shoot, man, I ain't gonna never overcome this. Oh man, what I did back in the day, man, I shouldn't have did that. Oh man, you know what? It'll never work. And then they just go downhill from there, instead of looking where they're at, and look at where how far they have, how far they came along, and say, okay, I could get even further. My attitude has always been like, look, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. Shit, my whole mentality, I'm just washing my hands for dinner. That's my whole attitude about everything, and that's the type of attitude that you have to have. That's the type of attitude that you have to have. Nobody's gonna have it for you. Nobody's gonna give it to you. You have to go and you have to go take it. You know, you do it your way. You know, your way, your way is 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 not the same as anybody else's way. You know what I'm saying? And if you try to pattern yourself after somebody, it'll it might work for you for a little bit, but you're still gonna have to put in your own ideals. You're still gonna have to implement your own creativity to some degree. And a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, you could pattern yourself after a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to you. But you thinking about the past and you not planning for the future, that's what's gonna hold you back. That's what's gonna hold you back. Think about this present time, enjoy the and live in the now, and understand the now. And when you get done and you get to a point where you want to retire or you want to stop doing what you're doing, then you can reflect on that stuff. Then you can reflect on that stuff. But for right now, if you're not thinking about retirement and you're not thinking about quitting what you're doing, or you're not thinking about resigning or stopping the business that you're doing, right now you need to get to work and you need to be thinking about the future. It don't matter, that age thing. That like I said, man, it don't matter. A lot of people get caught up in that stuff. Oh yeah, well, oh, that person's 60 and they still work. So that might be what that person wants to do. That might what keeps the person living. A lot of people, they suffer. They suffer physically because they don't have something that they love to do. It keeps them active. So you can't tell that person, okay, well, you shouldn't be working. You shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that. Hell, if somebody tells me that and I'm that old or something like that, I'm be like, okay, and I don't know. I don't know. I just got a real strong ass mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't it doesn't affect me. Now, did I get down back about different stuff that might have took place in my past? Absolutely, absolutely. I'm human, just like anybody else. I got feelings. You know what I'm saying? Just like anybody else, I'm compassionate. You know what I'm saying? Just like most people might be. But what I had to do is I had to realize that me thinking about the past or thinking about past relationships that I was in and all of that stuff, that never took me anywhere. It never did anything for me. It never did anything for me. So I hope you guys take something from this message. I want you to like this video, share it, subscribe if you're not a member to the channel. Also, hit the notification too so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos. Again, it's Polo Motivation, bruh. Y'all have a good one, man.